In this episode, we welcome you on board for a tour on and in our tiny home, Tranquillity. See how we live behind anchor. But first, this is me, Kim. There is Bart, and here is Liz, our little explorer. We sold everything to explore these beautiful places with our tiny 33-foot sailboat, Tranquillity. Welcome on board Tranquillity. Hop on for our boat tour.
Alright, we're gonna start our boat tour at the stern, at the entrance of our boat. It is now the entrance because we have a new swimming platform, bathing platform, whatever you want to call it. That's where you came on board. You step into the cockpit of the boat. This is the cockpit with the steering area, the main area where all the sail handling takes place. So, here on the back are the seats where we can sit down as a skipper and sail. Well, most of the time we are not here, but we let our wind vane do all the steering. This baby over here, the hydro vane. Most of the time, if I steer, it's gonna be standing. We have a big steering wheel and we use it. We also have our compass in front of the steering wheel. This is our, well, just normal regular compass. And next to it we have the panel to adjust the autopilot. Let's say wheel autopilot from Raymarine, and we can adjust it here, and there's a compass as well. We can turn this one so we can face it forward. When doing crossings, we most of the time sit in the cockpit behind our spray hood, and then we have all the controls in hand reach. We have our VHF outside modular, so it's easy if we're steering, we can call anyone on the VHF from the outside. Inside there's one as well, the main unit. So we got our winch handles within hand reach. The Scanmar 33 is laid out to be sailed on your own, so that's why we have the big winches next to our steering wheel. So that's easy if I'm here steering on my own, or Kim is steering on her own. She can easily grab the winch handles, put them in, and we can do some work here. That's for the Genoa. And the main sheet is now outside of the boat because we're in anchor mode. But the main sheet comes right in front of here, so it's also accessible for the helmsman. Okay, so that's the port side of the boat. On the starboard side of the boat we have our engine controls, so we can stop and start the engine from here, and we can see the RPM, the tank level, and our throttle. So that's on this side. All right, then we have some small lockers, open lockers, to just put some cleaning stuff away on both sides. And in the back here we have 2 aft lockers. These are very deep and full of stuff. Like we have our fenders in here, and also some diesel cans. We can actually store all our 4 diesel cans, so that's 80 liter of diesel inside both lockers, with some fenders and a lot of other stuff like paint and epoxy. It's all gonna be in here. On this side we've got now some cardboard because we're busy with the project, with our fishing gears here, some extra ropes and lines, spare anchor. That's all gonna be in these lockers. These are only outside lockers in the cockpit, by the way. All right, let's move on forward. We are in the cockpit area. That's where we sit the most of the time. It's an easy lounge place to grab a seat here. Now, because we are at anchor, we have our pillows on here, but normally we use the seats, which are more weatherproof. Okay, so on the starboard side of the boat we have the pillow now, and there's also a locker, but that's not really an cockpit locker. This is a escape hatch from the inside to the outside, but we altered it a bit because this is where our Seago life raft located, which hangs in these slings, and we can easily grab it and take it out. So it's not in the way of something, and it's right in the opening, so this is an easy takeout. So when shit hits the fan and we think it's gonna be bad, we take it out and we put it up on the flooring here. And if you go in here, that's actually our aft berth. So that's where Liz is asleep, but on the other side. We said before, the boat is designed to sail it on your own, sail solo. So we have our instruments on this side, free Raymarine I-70s, which show all kinds of data like wind speed, depth, speed through waters, GPS speed, AIS. We can put everything on there. It's all the data. And then on the coach roof we've got 2 winches, 2 main winches, where we can hoist the spinnaker, the genoa, and the outhole and the downhole, and reef number 2. And on the other side we have our crane line, our topping lift. That's not crane line, topping lift. We have our main halyard to get the speed boom up, and reef number 3 and reef number 1.
So we have our spray hood, 3 windows, and the front window is open right now, which is a delight because wind can come into the cockpit, which is really nice when it's this hot. Come on in and I will show you around inside. So when you enter the boat, on your left you find our galley with our stove and all the kitchenware we have. We have the luxury of 2 sinks, and I have to say it takes a lot of space, but it is really useful. Put the dirty plates over here and wash it over there. I have an electric pump for the fresh water and a foot pump for our salt water. Sorry for my overheated hat. Here in the Caribbean it is hot these days, really hot. Not that much wind, so kind of sweaty in the boat, so that's why we have all the fans on to keep a breeze going on in the boat. And this is our stove. It's Plastimo Neptune 2000 and it's quite luxurious, I think, on a boat. We have an oven, but only on the back side there is the heat, so it takes a while to completely heat the oven. Also have a grill, but we don't use it that often, and 2 burners, but now we are at anchor, so we use our induction burner. The storage on the boat or in the galley is not much, but enough. But you just need to be picky on the stuff you take with you, and yeah, that's with everything on a 33-foot boat. I think we need to be aware of what do we bring and what we are not bringing on board. Over here we have a few drawers. So in the top drawer we have all our kitchen gear. And in another drawer we also have a few. And this is a very deep drawer where we can put a lot of stuff, and everything that's too big to put in the drawer, in the top drawers, will be put in this one. And we have where we put food and all the other stuff. It's a very nice trash bin. It's from Flexi-Trash and really useful for our boat, because you can pull it aside like this and have it removed, and that makes it easy to open this door. And here we have our cleaning stuff, the plates to cover up the sinks, and our cooling installation. Underneath our stove we have a little room where we put our pans and pots. And these are also cabinets. Those are sliding doors. Some food, spice cabinet, so we have all our spices stored up here. And our final one is different from the others. We can put some small boxes on top. This is our saloon. Our saloon is multifunctional. It's our chill room, our office, breakfast room, dinner, lunch, with again a lot of storage underneath and on top. Some lockers over here as well. Here we put our towels, stuff for the kitchen. And this is where we store our books and little board games. There's another locker where we put our camera gear. As you can see, we can drop our table down. Put the pillow up and make it a bed. Underneath the couch is storage as well. I will show you a few. This is Hello You, where we store our flexi tank, a water tank of 100 liters. And this is my favorite. I invented it myself. Let me take this off. This is where we keep our liquor and wine. We have also some storage. It's where we keep our cans, and on the other side we have our dough, flour and soft things that are long lasting. And on to the next side. It's also a couch. So underneath this bed we have a lot of storage. I will show you. And this is our battery bank. And this is the sail that we put up when we use it as a bunk bed while sailing. And we have a small locker over here as well. Here we have a vacuum cleaner and some electrical stuff installations. Feature is that we can put this one up. And we have a little bit of storage left there as well. You might see there's holes in the ground. That is where we can extend our table. So we make a big table out of here. Feet for the table are stored behind this one. And this is Lisa corner. We put all the toys in here. And of course some lockers on top. For towels, more electrical stuff, mess, and Bart stuff. You were wondering where our table is. It's here. It's nicely locked. Our toilet / shower. This is a place where we can shower. We have a little sink, a fan, because this is, I think, the hottest room in the boat. And as you can see, we have a locker over here where we have all our toilet gear. And this is where we have our boiler. And we can pull this one and shower. I'll seat it on the toilet. It's my favorite. On to the next room. It's Lissa room and storage. So I sit in Lissa room. We have a small corner where we can sit to read and tell stories or wait until she falls asleep. She still sleeps in her Darien tent. When we left, she was only 2 years old, so really small, and I felt like she needed to sleep in something. And it's nice, it's a little bit more protective when something might fall off her or anything. But of course she will grow out and she will have the whole berth for herself. We have those shelves over here, but it's hard, they are not that deep, so you lose a lot of space you could use. So we invented or bought those boxes from IKEA, and that's where we store clothes. Liz also has a big locker over here. It's also the door and her storage. On the other side of Lissa room is our storage, and right now we are not sailing, so it's fully packed with everything, and we have the same locker over there, but it's a hanging closet and I really want to put shelves in there, so we are going to build that one day. And from the back we go to the peak, the master bedroom. It's nice and light over here. Yeah, I will show you around. It's a small space, but even though it is a quite long bed, so Bart can fit in straight, and so can I, of course. Hello. They put a little sliding door over here, so you can even close the door. My side of the bed, the same as on the other side of the boat, or in the back, it's only this. So for storage and keeping your clothes, that's a little bit too less. There are a lot of other construction to think about, but when we left we had so much boat projects to do. So we decided to go for the easy way, and that is to put the bags in there where we keep our clothes, everything. And here in the back we also have a small door that's underneath our anchor locker, and we keep the chips in here, because, well, it's not a dry room, so you don't want to keep anything that should not be getting wet. And chips, it's okay if the bags get wet. And on the other side we have the same, the berth. And we have a big hatch, and we can cover it. We also have a navigation table on board. Right now it's full with stuff. Easy to clean. You can lift. And that's where we keep maps. And on the side we have a few drawers. A deep one and small ones.
Standing on top now, and behind me you see our radar mounted. We have a Raymarine radar, and it's fixed on these scan struts pole, and the radar is gimbal, so it always level horizontal. Then we have our big 215 watt peak solar panel on the back of the boat. This one is our main power unit. This delivers almost 1 kilowatt hours of energy during the day. Let me step a big bit back, and then you see, which we fixed in Lagos, is our bimini with an extra piece for when at anchor, because our main sheet runs through the cockpit. We cannot use this one if we're active sailing, so we can zip this one off, and then we only have the bimini. You'll see on the spray hood we have another flexible sunbeam solar panel. This is 114 watt peaks, and it's in parallel with another sunbeam flexible solar panel, also 114 watt peak, on our garage. These two are in parallel and they deliver probably 2/3 as what our main unit in the back delivers. And a little extra today, it's a special. We haven't shown it anyone yet because it's brand new. We extended our energy source by one extra solar panel, and it's a 100 watt peak Renogy foldable panel. It's actually aluminum, so it's pretty tough, pretty strong. It has nice brackets to set it up, and it has already an MPPT on the back. So all we have is a cable that runs over the deck, and we put it in a plug and plug it in. That's just on our 12-volt network, and it will actually give us an extra, well, 5 to 8 amp hours on sunny days. And the beauty of the panel is we can just point it in the direction of the sun, so it will always get a good amount of solar. All right, enough with the solar. Let's go over the deck layout. Follow me on the sides of the boat. We have a very long Genoa track all the way forward. Then we have our boom mounted and a spare boom underneath. And if we go forward, we'll see our low front Cobra anchor winch or anchor windlass. Let me know in the comments, what do you use, anchor windlass or anchor winch? Then we come with our Furlex furler from Selden. So, and then here is our anchor locker. It's a pretty big one, which houses our gas, and it's in a container, a waterproof container. And then our mast, a Scanmar 33, has got a 7/8 fractional rig. So that means that our forestay is at 7/8 of the mast fixed, and then the top part, that's like 2 meters of mast, is free of any rigging. Only the backstay attaches to it. So that's, we have a pretty pre-bend in the mast. We have very aft looking spreaders, and that's because the boat is more designed to a beam reach upwind sailboat and not very much of a downwind sailor. So let me tell you a little bit more about the Scanmar 33. that's the boat we have. But Tranquillity is a Scanmar 33. It's a Swedish built boat by the Björnsson brothers, if I'm saying it correctly, and it was designed by Rolf Magnusson. The Scanmar 33 actually was produced in 1980, and they stopped building it at 1987. By 1987 they have built 500 of the Scanmar 33s. The Scanmar 33 is, like I told you, on top has a 7 to 8 fractional rig. It is a fin keel with a skag hang rudder. In the fin keel is 2000 kilograms of cast iron, and that's 42% of the ballast ratio of the boat, because the boat is 4,600 kilograms without any weight added to it, so empty. So as I mentioned, the boat was built in Sweden. It was built in Bjasta, that's on the east coast of Sweden and not on the west coast where all the famous Haber-Rassi and Najad boats come from. You can see it by design. The Haber-Rassi and Najad boats are very much designed for a beating sailboat, very protected center cockpit boats with fixed glass in front and a higher up nose. So those boats are more built as a blue water cruiser, and especially in rough weather. Our boat is more designed to sail on the east coast of Sweden, where you will have more upwind sailing and beam breeze sailing. But back in the day, the construction of the boats, I mean, I must say they were pretty thick, pretty heavy and strong build. Our boat was built very strong with laminate up to 2.5 centimeters, full glass laminate all the way around. We've got the big skag that protects the rudder. We notice our boat is very stable in weather. We have a very nice smaller stern, and that gives us a very nice tracking on the waves. So the boat performs pretty well in high seas, I must say. So I hope you enjoyed our boat tour, and if there are any more questions, you can just drop a comment down below and we're happy to answer them. Well, this was it. If you have any questions, please let us know. And for now, goodbye, and thank you very much for watching. Fair winds to you all.